Tshwane Mayor Cilliers Brink says he is confident that it's not the end of the road for him as mayor. Brink was briefing the media in Pretoria ahead of the motion of no confidence against him that is expected to take place next week, Thursday. The motion was submitted by the ANC after fallout over several grievances, which include poor service delivery and the city's ailing finances. The ANC is yet to announce its final decision on Brink's future and said it is waiting on further instruction from National ANC leaders on the way forward.
In exactly a week from now, Tshwane Mayor Cilliers Brink will know whether he stays on as the mayor of the capital city or whether he'll be exiting this particular post. He joins me right now. Mayor, ahead of this much anticipated battle against you, let's test your feelings. How are you feeling? How are you coping?
In this job, you have a lot of stress. You get used to that. You get used to solving problems. My focus is on preserving the progress which we have made in Tshwane, the finances, the credible solution that we now have to the Hammanskraal water crisis, the improved audit outcome, improved governance processes, the indication that we will be able to improve services significantly as we improve our financial performance. And it is that project which I am 100% focused on preserving.
Obviously, we see that there is sort of a united battalion that has emerged to see you obviously being voted out perhaps next week. But what are you doing to fight back? You did mention that there are talks taking place and you are waiting the outcome and possibly that can swing things. Just take us into that.
Patricia, I'm not sure that there is a united battalion attacking me. I think that Mr. Mashaba, who was bound by a coalition agreement through Action SA, who had an obligation to stick to that agreement, to clear disputes and so forth, to act in good faith, he acted in bad faith. He breached the agreement.
Are there talks with the ANC to save you?
So as I indicated right at the outset, once Mr. Mashaba started with his pronouncements, his attacks on the coalition, clearly saying that he prefers the EFF to the DA as a coalition partner, the national leadership of the DA approached the ANC with a request for a stability pact, which doesn't involve ejecting Action SA out of the coalition at that point. And those talks are ongoing. I'm not part of those talks. I've certainly been asked for my input from the national leadership, but I think that before we know exactly what the outcome is, I wouldn't want to speculate. But there are concerted efforts to prevent government from collapsing and from having this instability that comes with these motions of no confidence.
Now, previously, you yourself, the DA as a collective, has repeatedly said that the city of Tshwane needs to be protected from the ANC, and possibly they might be coming back. Do you still stay or remain on your stance that the city of Tshwane must be protected from the ANC?
So there's a couple of scenarios in politics, and for coalition and for a governance arrangement, you must always look at what is the best for the community. What's the best option? If you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said the Tshwane multi-party coalition. Now, unfortunately, due to the conduct of Mr. Mashaba, the deceit, the betrayal, the fact that they've breached the agreement, our coalition no longer has a majority. The worst possible outcome for the city would be if Action SA is placed in a situation where the EFF holds the balance of power in government.
So there is a possibility that there might be a deal between the DA and the ANC moving forward. It might not even come next week, but that might be in the near future.
I want to emphasize that if I could have my way, it would be the Tshwane multi-party coalition continuing to govern the city. Action SA has made that impossible through their deceitful conduct. Now, when you talk to the ANC, when you talk to any political party, you've got your idea of what might happen. Initially, our idea was a stability arrangement. Leave our coalition alone in Tshwane, we will leave you alone in Ekurhuleni. But there might be a counter offer from the ANC, and that has to be seriously considered. As I said, what we want to avoid is a situation where the EFF holds the balance of power in the capital city.
And the accusations then by Action SA that they feel betrayed by the DA. possibly looking into working with the ANC. And that's what actually caused, you know, the rift that finally broke the back of the camel. How do you respond to that? Them saying that they found out that there are talks taking place, despite the previous promises that no one will be working with the ANC.
It is absolutely false, untrue, part of the deceitful conduct of Mr. Mashaba and Action SA to claim that it is us who brought this coalition to a fall. We approached the ANC, the national leadership of the DA, after Mr. Mashaba became an unstable factor. And even at that point, it was to seek a stability pact, not to replace them. But clearly now they've taken the path of self-destruction, and they are no longer, Action SA is no longer part of the solution in Tshwane. They're part of the risk to the future of the city.